One of symphonic progressive metal's most exciting, dynamic and interesting bands in recent years is finally back after a long 5 years of waiting since their last album, Strangers, worked its way into my daily rotation and indeed my heart back in 2020. So here we are now in a post-COVID world, and what lessons have Scardust learnt? What improvements to their winning formula have been implemented? And is this a bigger, bolder, more confident band who are now ready to toss their sparkling sequined hat onto the world stage and throw hands with the big boys? Or have the band merely been treading water in the interim period, with an album that shows all the signs of a band who are confident in their own sound, but aren't quite ready to push themselves past their comfort zone? Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, my name is Ian, this is Rhyme Signatures, and we are once again opening the lid on the best new releases in prog, rock, and metal. So, for the uninitiated, just who the devil are Scardust? This might be your first time even hearing about this band, and if it is, you might want to strap yourself in, because you are about to be exposed to a dynamite blend of extraordinary musical theatrics, blistering bass lines, electrifying guitar solos, and oh yeah, arguably the most talented working vocalist alive right now. I am not mincing my words on this one. The megaton force behind Scardust's signature sound, the element that picks them out from a lineup, is Noah Grumman. She has a titanic, punishingly strong vocal performance. You want a woman who can do it all, cross ranges you didn't think were possible, someone who can sound like a succubus from the depths of hell to an angelic chorus all within a 30-second time frame. Oh yeah, Grumman's gotcha. I vividly remember the first time I heard their sophomore album of Strangers. There were moments where her vocal delivery had me wanting to just throw my headphones off and loudly exclaim, "Excuse me, what the f***?" She has got pipes and performs her duties as a frontwoman with extraordinary charisma and grace. With their last album, Scardust had successfully built a reputation as one of the most exciting and ambitious progressive metal acts of the last decade. Their music walks the tightrope between classical orchestrations, operatic drama, and gent-adjacent technical riffing, all grounded in lush production and bold conceptual narratives. But with such expectation now hanging above them from the success of Strangers, has their third album, Souls, cut the mustard, to coin a phrase, or are the bands circling too high for even their own self-made lofty ambitions? Right, okay, let's start with what Scardust still does better than almost anyone else right now. Scale and drama. Souls is a theatrical whirlwind. It's lavish, it's cinematic, it's got these rich musical motifs that evoke everything from Broadway to Bartok to Between the Buried and Me. As I mentioned earlier, Noah Grumman is the secret sauce here that keeps on giving, and she is once again proving why I consider her to be a generational talent. Her voice is agile and emotive, flipping from tender vulnerability to operatic grandeur without missing a single beat. The arrangements are layered and ornate. There are choirs, string sections, and massive choral swells that elevate tracks like Unreachable and Searing Echoes into full-blown metal musicals. The production throughout the album is clean and it's muscular, giving each instrument space to shine. Bassist Bar Sasson and drummer Yoav Weinberg lock in tightly, while the guitar work from Gal Goran and keyboards from Aaron Friedland provide both texture and grandeur in equal measure over the album's modest 42-minute runtime. When it all clicks, and it often does, Scardust achieves a kind of maximalist sensationalism that few bands even attempt, let alone emulate. The sheer magnitude of the instrumentation going on here will often give you cause to just stop everything you're doing and find yourself utterly lost for words at the theatricality of it all. There are these, marvellous little breaks in the action punctuated across the album where each individual member will take a momentary step into the spotlight to show off their considerable musical chops. My bias towards the low end notwithstanding, Bar Sasson is particularly noteworthy in this regard with some of the most intense and furious bass work I've heard this year. The earworminess of this album cannot be understated either. This is a shorter, sharper, more precise and immediate album than Strangers is. The tempo has been fired up, the songs are shorter, snappier and catchier, which makes for a more engaging listening experience off the bat than that previous album delivered. I left this album after my first listen with so many of the hooks and choruses bouncing around inside my head, and Grumman's unbelievable vocal chops were just echoing in my very soul. There's moments in the final part of the ending track Touch of Life where she abandons her upper register and plunges deep and dark, pulling strength from the very hells below us to the point where it is genuinely hard to believe this is the same person who mere moments ago was close to shattering wine glasses with her falsetto. But who's that dueling with her on this final three-part track? That's right, kids, it's Ross Jennings! Yeah, I know, I've clowned a bit and I've goofed around with the fact that he does seem to be sprouting up literally everywhere these days, and so his presence here did initially force me to stifle a laugh, I'm not gonna lie, but brother is bringing the goods here. He's got some fantastic melodies to work with, and this is arguably the strongest vocal performance I've heard from him, well, ever, if I'm being honest. He's got this kind of really raw energy going on, a kind of galloping tone and a determination behind his voice that I've never heard from him until now. I don't know, maybe it's the challenge of singing alongside someone like Grumman, but Ross is absolutely killing it here, and it will be very exciting to see if he can bring this sort of A-game to the next Haken record as well. But, of course, nothing is all sunshine and rainbows here, and I have a couple of little gripes with Souls that I need to really get off my chest. In spite of its modest runtime, it can often feel a bit bloated. Like there's simply too many ideas vying for your attention at all times. It's an absolutely stacked menu of some of the most delightful tricks and treats in the progressive and symphonic metal playbook, but at times it does feel like Scardust are throwing these things in purely for the sake of it, just so they can take a step back, look at you expectantly as if to say, look at that, oh, check that out, aren't you impressed? And in truth, sure, I am impressed. But you can't run at 200 degrees Celsius for 42 minutes without running the risk of burning something. Unlike the previous album Strangers, Souls often lacks the, cohesion or restraint of its predecessor. Several songs feel like they're trying to fit too many ideas into one track. A dizzying blur of tempo changes, key modulations, and genre shifts that, while impressive, sometimes undermines the flow of the album as a whole. The middle portion in particular often feels like it's sagging under its own complexity at points. Another sticking point is one of repetition. While individual motifs are strong on this album, some ideas feel all too similar to one another, leading somewhat to a sense of déjà vu. The choral arrangements, though beautiful, can become overbearing by the end, and I feel that there could be more moments where the band could just apply the brakes for a little bit longer to add some contrast and emotional weight to the album. Okay, sure, we've got the song Dazzling Darkness to give us a chance to catch our breath, and the interstitial End of the World. But these are the shortest cuts on the album at less than 3 minutes apiece, and even in these moments of levity, the band can't stop showing off in the background. And I just want to say, guys, come on, just cool it down for just a second.
Your heart, do you think you are a god, or are life forever bound? You are my cage, as you are my liberator.
So, what else can I possibly say about Scardust's Souls? I went into this one with some pretty high expectations, I'm not going to lie. Strangers remains one of my most played albums of the 2020s, with tracks like Concrete Cages, Overture for the Estranged, and Gone finding their way onto numerous absolute banger playlists that I've made in the past. While I don't think this album is the stratospheric leap that I was honestly hoping for, I've still had an enormous amount of fun listening to Souls, and you have to hand it to the band, Scardust refuses to play it safe, and that alone is worth celebrating in an era of sanitized, algorithm-friendly metal. The band are clearly swinging for the fences here, and while sometimes they hit a soaring home run, sometimes it's a foul ball. but nevertheless they are always aiming for transcendence. Souls may not be Scardust's definitive statement, but it is a bold and often breathtaking chapter in their ongoing evolution. For fans of operatic prog metal and grand musical storytelling, there's still plenty here to savour, even if it leaves you craving a bit more discipline amidst the dazzle. Recommendation on this one is to grab a digital copy of this. It's a fun time and a definite highlight for fans of bombastic, vocally driven music that operates with minimal filter. Just don't blame me if Noah Grumman utterly ruins other singers for you with her siren-like delivery and utterly commanding presence. This is all, of course, guys, just my opinion, so if you loved this one, if you hated this one, please talk to me about your experiences with the album in the comments down below. Please do drop me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, please do tell your friends about little old me, and please do consider subscribing to the channel if you've been enjoying my content so far. But until next time, guys, as always, keep your rhyme signatures pretty odd.